Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on Storm Talk. Weather News meteorologist Brian Good here on this Friday afternoon, the Friday before the kickoff to the Kentucky Derby Festival of 2015. And we're talking about several chances here for showers and thunderstorms in the longer range here. But in the short term, looks fairly quiet. Let's start off with the outlooks as we always do. All the action today in the Plain States. This is upper low that it's taking its sweet time moving out of the Rockies. So the plains are going to be the focal point for round after round of thunderstorms, some locally strong if not severe, so they're getting battered here over the next couple of days. This is the outlook today. Tomorrow, the outlook, pretty much the same spots, all the way from Nebraska down to the Gulf states, including Texas, into portions of Alabama and Louisiana. Now, it does shift a little more as we head into Sunday, getting closer to us. And there's a lot of debate on how much this is going to impact us when it comes to not only the heavy rain potential, but the chance for maybe some stronger storms because the system is pretty much what we call occluded, doesn't really have much more with it when it comes to fronts. It's just going to be spinning itself around here in the Ohio Valley, and it could give some strong wind gusts, but we'll pay attention to the parameters as we get a little closer. But SBC at least is watching areas to the south around the Ozarks, maybe some stronger storms on Sunday. So we will watch that carefully. In the short term, it's nice out there. We finally got some sun breaking through. That's all ground clutter near the radar, so ignore that. There's no rain out there. 76 right now. We're all on our way to 80 for this afternoon. All right, let's talk about Futurecast. This will get you all the way through early Sunday morning. For this afternoon, evening, it's trying to hint at maybe a pop-up shower. Just don't really see much happening at this point. Can't rule it out for southern counties. Patchy fog possible early tomorrow, but we're back to 70 again as early as 10 o'clock in the morning. So another warm night tonight. By the time we head into the afternoon hours on Saturday, well into the 70s, if not lower 80s for the afternoon. A few high, thin cirrus clouds, can't rule it out, but as far as anything else more than that, just doesn't look likely. But as we head into early Sunday morning, after midnight, that is when the radar will begin to show us some showers breaking out from the south to the north. But I think most of us will stay dry through at least midnight, and then after that, the bet goes off from there. Look at the sounding from the NAM model. This is again looking at ground level all the way up above our heads. And very dry sounding here. This is for the fireworks show, and pretty much the same for the air show, by the way. So these two lines are far apart. Tells us it's a very dry atmosphere, so very little in the way of cloud cover. Can run a few cirrus in a few cases, but I think we're in pretty good shape here when it comes to the air show. But at the time of the fireworks, it's still showing a slight inversion that takes place less than 1,000 feet. So again, the smoke from the fireworks is going to be heading westward. It's hard to tell here, but the winds are out of the east, so the smoke will go west. And it's a little gusty once you get about 500 feet, so some of those areas of smoke should begin to drift, but it may not rise very much. It may rise to firework level and not much further up than that, and then kind of drift from there. But overall, I think it's going to be a good show for everybody, considering that wind direction. Maybe not the best for New Albany. You guys may get a lot of smoke later on. So here's the latest when it comes to the air show. Well into the 70s by the afternoon. If you're heading to the Louisville Bats game, we're going to be out there, so come out and say hi to us at Slugger Field. We'll be out there as early as 1:30 in the afternoon. Looks good for that game as well. 80 degrees by the time the air show starts. Keep in mind, though, at the waterfront, you got to shave off a couple degrees because the water off the river does tend to add a slight chill factor, but you will likely not even notice that considering how much sun we will have and the wind's going to be pretty light. Now, as we head into fireworks time, warm evening, and you pack all those people together, it's going to be, I would wear some deodorant. Just my advice on that. Temperatures in the 70s all the way through fireworks time. Cloud cover will gradually increase. Should be a pretty sunset, in fact, with the Sirius approaching at the time of sunset. Could have a beautiful sunset overhead when the flag flies over with the choppers coming up there. So it's going to be looking good for the beginning of the air show. Better news when it comes to the Ohio River. The flood stage, or the crest for the Ohio River, continues to be revised and continues to be below flood stage. It's only going to climb maybe a few more inches than where it is right now. So what you see out your window when it comes to the Ohio River flooding, that is pretty much the way it's going to look for tomorrow. Yes, it's not great. There's a lot of areas underwater, but at least it's not going to get any worse tomorrow, and that's some good news. Same thing for the lower gauge, below flood stage. Horseshoe Casino is loving that idea. Looks good out there all the way through the weekend. All right, so here's the setup. I mentioned that area of low pressure we're tracking now, given headaches with snow in the Rockies and severe weather in advance of it. Slowly going to work its way here to the east, and then its behavior once it gets into our area for Sunday is a little more interesting, if you will, because it's trying to take an angle northbound, which will really, depending on how sharp of an angle it takes, can really drag down some chilly air in behind that as we head into next week. I've got this model looping to give you an idea of what I'm talking about with the GFS. You see how the low pressure kind of tracks due north from about Paducah, Kentucky, all the way through northern areas of Indiana. And with that path, there's going to be somebody that's going to get quite a bit of heavy rain out of that. So that's got to be figured out for the heavy rain and flooding potential. And right now, the models are aiming toward Paducah, Evansville, Indianapolis for that path of heaviest rain. But keep in mind, that tracks some more to the east that could really impact us on Sunday with some flooding potential. Also, with these setups here with low pressures, you got to watch for any type of heating, any type of energy you can get from the sun during the day. That could aid into thunderstorm development, because the idea is with areas of low pressure, you can have some natural spinning that will take place to thunderstorms. So there could be some rotating storms we'll have to watch on Sunday. You saw the SPC outlook. It's not really entrenched in here yet because there's a lot of debate on how much heating we actually will even pick up Sunday, since we'll have a wet morning. But just know that's something we're watching for Sunday. We'll fine-tune that later on. Ryan Hope, of course, will be here in the morning hours this weekend, and Andy Weingarten on Sunday evening to keep you updated on, or Saturday evening to keep you updated on how that is going to play out. But interesting setup, that low, taking that sharp angle. Now, here's the reflection of why we got to track that low. Watch the rain total. Well, it doesn't always go all the way out. I apologize. But it does show the heaviest of rain, by the way, 1 to 3 inches potentially located right in here. And lesser amounts in central Kentucky, but we'll watch that path carefully. As I mentioned, as it goes by, it drags down chilly air. Still some debate. How chilly will it actually get, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week? The Canadian remains robust with the idea that it's going to be chilly. Potential is still there for patchy frost as we head into the middle of next week. I don't think that can be taken off the table yet. And some 30s looking likely, not even just one morning, maybe 2 mornings for next week. In addition to that, when you get cool air like this, rotating around a strong April sun that is developing, you can get instability of showers that can develop. So it's showing a dry forecast next week, but I wouldn't rule out isolated showers in the afternoon that could just randomly pop with some cumulus clouds. When you get that cold above your head and you got that sun as strong as it is in April, it doesn't take much to get instability showers. So I wouldn't rule that out for next week. So that's something we'll be watching as well. And then here's your sneak peek at Derby. Keep in mind, this is the GFS. It'll likely change because we're still 3 weeks out, but about 2 weeks out now, actually. You can see how we're talking about potential here for some showers early in the day, Derby day, but it doesn't look warm. And I'm not going to focus on that particular model. I'm going to say is right now for the next 2 week period, it does look cooler than normal. Normal is about 70. So 50s and 60s look more likely than 70s and 80s. And it does look like off and on showers, and this will likely include Derby weekend. That is the trend we are seeing right now. Some models are going way to the extreme and saying that something frozen could actually fall the next 2 weeks. Not going to bite on that yet. That's really hard to have happen this time of the year, but it just gives you an idea how the models are struggling, how the interaction between the chilly air and the calendar are going to match up here the next 2 weeks. So we'll see how it plays out. Between now and then, what a great forecast for this afternoon, and again for Thunder. Have fun, be safe out there. Much more on the timing of the festivities when it comes to temperatures for this weekend, and then much more on that Sunday rain system beginning today on Way Through News at 5.